a future Nikola Tesla.
Do you think a 13-year-old could change the world? Well, this one might change your mind.
A real-life Dexter's Laboratory. Max Laughlin shares his story in tonight's.
The future that I imagine is the future, frankly, that we all imagine.
Max Laughlin, celebrated as one of the brightest young minds, vanished from the public eye amid fascination over his invention capable of converting air into energy. Drawing inspiration from renowned scientists like Tesla and Einstein, his intellect was widely admired, raising questions about the pressure he faced. Now, his unexpected return has sparked curiosity, with claims of proving the reality of his inventions. However, his reluctance to disclose the full extent of his knowledge learned from his alleged representatives fuels speculation. What's the story behind his reappearance? What secrets could he be hiding? Max's revolutionary ideas and disappearance. Max Laughlin's groundbreaking ideas, such as converting ambient atmospheric energy into power through a wire, have ignited imaginations. He spoke of transforming AC energy captured from the surroundings into DC power, using terms and references that echoed the work of renowned physicists and historical figures, along with modern scientists. This blend of past and future seemed almost too good to be true. Despite the initial excitement, Laughlin disappeared from the public eye, leading to speculation about the impact of early fame and intense scrutiny on young talents. His absence left many wondering if the pressure had become too much for him. Now Laughlin has returned, claiming he's ready to prove that his early work was more than just child's play. What was Laughlin doing during his time away from the spotlight? The details remain vague, and his explanations often feel more promotional than substantive, leaving a shadow of doubt over his return. Laughlin asserts he is gearing up for a comeback, reiterating his commitment to scientific pursuits. However, the validity of his past claims remains under scrutiny. How much of his fame was based on real scientific achievements, and how much was built on the fascination with prodigies? As Max attempts to re-establish himself, both the public and the scientific community remain skeptical. His early work, wrapped in the promise of revolutionary insights and transformative technology, often resembled a well-crafted story, rather than clear scientific advancement. His discussions about CERN and theoretical physics straddled the line between innovative thinking and speculative fiction. Now, as he re-enters the public sphere, it's crucial to evaluate his contributions critically. Will Laughlin's return bring the significant scientific advancements he once promised? Or will it prompt further questions about the practicality and authenticity of his work? The challenge lies in discerning whether his theories can be applied in real-world scenarios or if they remain mere theoretical musings. This new phase in Laughlin's career is a test of his ability to transform his early theoretical ideas into real, tangible outcomes. As a child, Max had a passion for taking apart gadgets, driven not just by curiosity, but by a desire to understand how they worked. By the time he was in elementary school, his interests had expanded to include renewable energy and the larger questions about the universe, suggesting he was destined for great things. During his last year of high school, Max truly stood out with his school projects. He worked with his classmate, Luke Jansen, on a special project using photogrammetry to create 3D models of ancient rock carvings in the Valley of Fire State Park. Despite running into equipment issues, Max demonstrated a resilience that could be seen as either a genuine sign of a future scientist or a well-timed show of strength in the face of challenges. We'll discuss this project in more detail in a short while. His project wasn't just about studying ancient art. It aimed to use digital technology to protect and potentially commercialize these artworks on a global scale. Max's meticulous attention to detail and methodical approach to work are often praised, but they also raise questions about his intentions. Is he looking to turn cultural heritage into a business opportunity under the guise of conservation? His work is undoubtedly creative, but it sometimes seems to straddle the line between contributing to scientific knowledge and using flashy tech to gain fame. This balance between genuine scientific research and the pursuit of recognition through controversial ideas is something Max navigates with both care and ambition. As he continues to advance in his field, both supporters and critics keep a close eye on his methods and early theories. Discussions about his contributions are often divided, reflecting a common pattern in how we support young talents in science. Sometimes there's a greater focus on creating a fascinating story rather than conducting careful, critical examination. This ongoing conversation not only shapes his personal growth, but also influences how we think about and support emerging talents in the sciences. Driven by his keen interest in physics and engineering, Max was drawn to furthering his education in these fields. His hard work paid off when he was accepted into the University of Wisconsin-Madison, a decision that seemed almost predictable given his academic record. At university, Max dove deeper into physics and engineering, aiming to contribute something new to these crowded fields of study. Max Laughlin's early involvement in particle physics and renewable energy showcased his intense passion for understanding the fundamental forces of the universe and pioneering sustainable energy solutions. This wasn't just a casual interest for Max, it was an obsession. He spent countless hours in the lab, tirelessly working on ideas that could revolutionize our approach to energy. Max's dedication to clean and sustainable energy sources was noble, but some viewed it as idealistic. He believed his efforts were crucial for the planet's future, aligning his personal goals with the global narrative of environmental sustainability. The university offered an exciting yet demanding academic environment where Max was expected to excel and stand out as a future leader in his field. However, this environment also highlighted the competitive nature of scientific research. The relentless push to make new discoveries and gain recognition often overshadowed the collaborative spirit of science. Max's dedication to pushing scientific boundaries and making a meaningful impact was admirable. Yet it also reflected the intense pressure and competition that young scientists often face. Max's story is one of personal commitment and the broader challenges of striving for excellence and recognition in the scientific community. Navigating his university life, Max constantly balanced his ambitions with the practical realities of scientific research. His days were filled with studies, lab work, and the ongoing challenge of proving his theories. Each experiment and project was a step toward his goal of becoming a notable figure in the world of science. This drive to excel and contribute to scientific progress made Max a typical example of today's young, ambitious scientists. Max, once celebrated as a bright newcomer in the fusion of physics and engineering, had made a name for himself with innovative prototypes that could potentially transform energy technology. His groundbreaking work captured the attention of both academic circles and the energy industry, positioning him as a key figure poised to make significant contributions to his field. But then suddenly, Max disappeared from public view, sending shockwaves through the academic and industrial communities that had supported his rise. His projects came to a screeching halt, leaving his colleagues puzzled and speculating about his sudden departure. Various theories circulated about his absence, ranging from the pressure of newfound fame being too much for him to the possibility of him undertaking highly confidential research away from the public eye. In his absence, discussions about his whereabouts and state of mind became more common than ever, with acquaintances and distant colleagues speculating about his potential activities and well-being. A video released by his high school from a senior presentation in 2023 showed Max alive and well. In the video, he discussed his departure from high school, sharing his mixed emotions of excitement and anxiety as he transitioned from being a student to a potential trailblazer in the scientific community. What had Max been up to during his time out of the public eye? Had he gained new insights, or was his disappearance merely a break from the overwhelming pressure and exposure that accompanied his early success? Despite his return, many questions linger about why he left and what it meant for the future of his projects. The buzz surrounding his return was as intense as the discussions about his absence had been. Everyone was eager to see what Max would do next and whether he would continue with his previous projects or take a new direction. The intrigue surrounding his time away provided ample material for speculation, but his return promised even more. What will Max's next steps reveal about his journey and the future of his groundbreaking work in the rapidly changing world of energy and engineering? Chasing the unattainable. During a recent speech, Max Laughlin shared his experiences from a senior project in which he and his classmate Luke Jansen attempted to create 3D models of ancient petroglyphs at the Valley of Fire State Park. What sounded like an exciting and educational task was plagued by several mundane problems, such as delays in getting their equipment and the lack of Wi-Fi at their campsite. Additionally, they faced the challenging task of converting numerous photographs into accurate 3D models. Max described these issues as dramatic and critical challenges, emphasizing how each problem helped them grow in determination and problem-solving skills. Max enthusiastically explained how these hurdles were actually opportunities for him and Luke to think creatively and keep pushing forward. He spoke about how these experiences taught him to view difficulties as chances for growth, claiming that his school years had prepared him well for facing and overcoming future problems. However, listening to Max, one might wonder whether he was overstating the impact of these challenges. Describing a Wi-Fi outage as a significant obstacle suggests a somewhat privileged perspective where small inconveniences are seen as major hurdles. This portrayal could make one skeptical about the depth of his hardships and whether they were truly transformative or just typical issues blown out of proportion for the sake of a good story. As the session moved into a Q&A, Max continued to stress the importance of tackling challenges head-on, stating that this approach was essential for personal and professional development. However, this stance seemed to echo a kind of youthful overconfidence, with Max viewing himself as ready to take on the world without perhaps having faced truly testing conditions. Max's tendency to dramatize his experiences might make his narrative compelling, but it also raises doubts about the realism in his outlook on life's challenges. It appeared that he was using his project story more as a platform to celebrate supposed victories over adversity, rather than offering a grounded or critically reflective view of his experiences. Moreover, Max's recent unexplained absence, briefly mentioned in a video, added an element of drama to his already polished presentation. The video hinted at his interest in developing groundbreaking technologies, but it also seemed designed to keep the audience hooked on his personal saga rather than delve deeply into his professional aspirations or personal growth. Overall, while Max aimed to inspire his audience with stories of overcoming adversity, his recounting felt a bit crafted to showcase an ideal version of resilience. It seemed to oversimplify the nature of real challenges, presenting them as neatly resolvable issues, rather than the complex and often messy realities they are. His approach may inspire some, but to others, it could seem as though he was not fully acknowledging the true nature and unpredictability of real-world problems. Max Laughlin's project to develop a free energy machine appears more like a flight of fancy than a serious scientific endeavor. He claims his machine can harness energy from abundant sources like solar and wind power, along with more obscure quantum fluctuations. While the idea of a device that could eliminate our dependency on fossil fuels is undoubtedly appealing, there are significant doubts about whether such a machine can really deliver on these promises. The concept of a single device transforming our energy landscape is an old dream that many have pursued without success. Max's vision includes not just creating a sustainable energy source, but also fundamentally changing how we power our world. However, the real-world applicability of his designs remains to be seen, as they are still in the conceptual phase without any proven results. Alongside his energy machine, Max has shown a keen interest in the Mandela effect, a phenomenon where large groups of people remember an event differently from how it actually happened. Some famous examples of the Mandela effect include Berenstain Bears versus Berenstain Bears. Many people remember the popular children's book series as Berenstain Bears, with an E in the last syllable. However, the actual spelling is Berenstain Bears with an A. This discrepancy has led to debates and theories about alternate realities or time travel influencing people's memories. The Mandela funeral. The term Mandela effect itself originates from the false memory that Nelson Mandela died in prison during the 1980s. In reality, Mandela was released from prison in 1990 and served as South Africa's president from 1994 to 1999. The widespread belief in his earlier death has sparked discussions about collective memory and its reliability. The Monopoly Man's monocle. Many people recall the Monopoly board game's mascot, the Monopoly Man, wearing a monocle. However, the character has never worn a monocle in any official depiction. This misconception illustrates how pop culture can influence and distort our memories. Luke, I am your father. Misquote. A famous line from the movie Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back is often misquoted as, Luke, I am your father. The actual line is, No, I am your father. This misquotation has become so widespread that it has contributed to the Mandela effect phenomenon. Max suggests that the weird part about the Mandela effect might be tied to complex ideas in physics and could possibly indicate the existence of alternate realities. According to him, certain quantum events could cause overlaps between parallel universes, leading to these collective memory discrepancies. His connection between the Mandela effect, quantum mechanics, and the concept of multiple universes may seem compelling at first glance, yet it could also be viewed as an inventive story crafted to draw attention. While the idea of parallel universes is discussed among physicists, using it to explain differences in human memory is quite a stretch. It appears Max may be leveraging the popular fascination with quantum physics to lend credibility to theories that lack solid evidence. But what truly shook the scientific community was Max's next idea, the Large Hadron Collider. Max Laughlin's return to the spotlight has reignited debates among scientists and observers alike, especially concerning his bold ideas and their potential impact on the world. His theories often spark discussions reminiscent of sci-fi stories, drawing both intrigue and skepticism. One of the most contentious topics has been the Large Hadron Collider's cosmic impact. Critics quickly pointed out that while the idea was thrilling, its real-world applications and scientific basis often veered into the realm of speculative theoretical physics. In 2022, an incident at the LHC brought this debate to the forefront. A significant disturbance in Earth's magnetic field was detected, initially attributed to solar activity. However, the timing and intensity of this disturbance, coinciding with the collider's experiments, prompted thorough investigations to determine any possible links. This raised concerns about the safety of such experiments, sparking fears about the unforeseen consequences of meddling with fundamental aspects of matter. Critics argued that these concerns illustrated a common issue in ambitious scientific research, the blurring of boundaries between pioneering discoveries and the potential risks that could emerge. Each incident like this added to the ongoing debate about the limits of human exploration and the potential dangers involved in probing and altering the very foundation of the universe. Could these ambitious scientific pursuits be treading into dangerous territory? Supporters of the collider's research defended the experiments as essential for a deeper understanding of the universe. They argued that fears of catastrophic scenarios like microscopic black holes were more a reflection of public misunderstandings and sensationalized media portrayals than any real threat. This ongoing debate underscored the challenge of balancing the quest for knowledge with the ethical considerations and potential dangers inherent in powerful scientific pursuits. Max's hypothesis, alongside the collider incident, highlighted the two-sided nature of advanced science. They not only showed the potential to broaden human knowledge, but also brought to light the practical and philosophical challenges posed by venturing into lesser understood scientific territories. As discussions continued, the scientific community remained split on the best ways to handle these complex issues. Each new experiment and theory added to the dialogue about the overlap of reality, perception, and the lesser-known areas of the quantum universe. Every experiment seemed to underscore the delicate balance between pushing the boundaries of what we know and the need to consider the broader implications of our discoveries. This tension was mirrored in academic debates, public discourse, and the cautious approach taken by regulatory bodies overseeing such research. The dialogue about these advanced scientific endeavors showed no signs of abating, illustrating the ongoing human struggle to understand more while managing the risks of profound scientific exploration. A recent incident raised global concerns as it coincided with unusual disturbances in Earth's magnetic field. These disturbances threatened a range of systems, from satellites in orbit to the essential power grids and communication networks that keep our world connected. In response, researchers from European Organization for Nuclear Research, also known as CERN, joined by independent experts, began a detailed investigation into whether the collider's activities could have unintended effects on a global scale. CERN's primary goal is to explore the fundamental nature of the universe by studying the smallest building blocks of matter and the forces that govern them. The LHC, also operated by CERN, accelerates particles to nearly the speed of light and collides them, allowing scientists to recreate conditions similar to those just after the Big Bang. This enables them to study rare particles, such as the Higgs boson, which was discovered at CERN in 2012, and confirmed the existence of the Higgs field responsible for giving particles mass. CERN conducts experiments to investigate various fundamental questions in physics, including the nature of dark matter and dark energy, the properties of antimatter, and the unification of fundamental forces. Its research contributes to advancements in technology, medicine, and our understanding of the universe's origins and composition. Coming back to the LHC, could the extreme conditions created by the collider inadvertently influence Earth's magnetic stability? The study sought to determine if creating new, possibly unusual particles during collisions could temporarily impact the Earth's magnetic field. Due to the speculative nature of this investigation, it introduced a range of possibilities that elicited both skepticism and concern among scientists and the general public. This thorough examination sparked a broader debate about the ethical implications of pushing the frontiers of scientific exploration, particularly when such endeavors might lead to environmental or technological disruptions. The discussions moved beyond technical specifics and delved into the ethical responsibilities of scientists when their work might interfere with natural systems. This dialogue broadened to stress the importance of balancing scientific progress with environmental protection, crucial for sustaining all life on Earth. The concerns were significant enough to prompt changes in the collider's experimental procedures. The investigation's outcomes led to the implementation of stricter monitoring systems to better manage and observe the interactions between the collider's operations and the environment. These improvements aim not only to protect the internal workings of the collider, but also to prevent any negative effects on the surrounding natural world. This scenario at CERN represented a pivotal moment in scientific research. It highlighted the necessity for careful consideration when engaging in powerful scientific processes. It highlighted the fact that scientists must pursue knowledge responsibly, ensuring their explorations do not harm the planet. The alarming incident at the high-energy physics lab brought to the forefront an immediate requirement for rigorous safety protocols and continual assessment within particle physics. The concept that human-developed technology might inadvertently alter our planet's magnetic field, or even the fundamental fabric of reality, introduces a complex proposition to conventional scientific inquiry. Max's theories stretch the boundaries, melding exploration with the imperative to preserve our planet as we navigate the frontiers of human understanding. Other theories. Max's theory proposes that interconnected subatomic particles from different universes could influence human cognition, leading to phenomena like the Mandela effect. This idea prompts us to consider how experiments in particle physics, such as those at CERN, might directly impact our perception of reality. While blending particle physics with cognitive science may seem unconventional, it expands discussions about the multiverse beyond cosmology and quantum mechanics, challenging the separation between objective physics and subjective human experience. How might these interconnected subatomic particles shape our understanding of reality? How do Max's theories bridge the gap between scientific exploration and personal perception? In traditional scientific discussions, the multiverse is seen as a conceptual framework necessary to explain various phenomena in our universe. Physicists explore this through different theories, yet they often focus on abstract concepts rather than immediate human experiences. Max's theory breaks this pattern by linking subatomic particle behavior with everyday human perceptions, urging us to consider both impersonal laws and personal consciousness. This fusion of physics and cognitive science not only broadens scientific boundaries, but also encourages a more holistic view of the universe, encompassing cosmic realms and human cognition. Despite generating intrigue, these discussions come with a cautionary note. The scientific community must ensure that theoretical discussions remain grounded in empirical evidence, avoiding the allure of pseudoscience. While integrating cognitive science with particle physics offers new insights into our reality, it demands a renewed emphasis on scientific accuracy and ethical practices. How can we navigate the line between groundbreaking ideas and speculative theories to ensure scientific progress remains rigorous and beneficial for humanity and the environment? The notion of distant universes with varying conditions challenges our imagination, suggesting hidden realms beyond observation that could inform our understanding of the universe. Yet questions arise about the practicality and relevance of such theories, especially when considering the impact of quantum events on potential multiverses. While multiverse theory sparks philosophical ponderings about personal identity and choice, it remains primarily a theoretical exercise, offering imaginative scenarios rather than tangible outcomes. How do these speculative theories contribute to our understanding of the universe? And what limitations do they face in practical application? What do you think? In conclusion, CERN's role in exploring particle physics and captivating public interest is evident, pushing scientific boundaries and showcasing human curiosity. People like Max Laughlin symbolize the relentless pursuit of knowledge, driving scientific advancements and theoretical explorations. While theories like the Mandela effect and the multiverse theory fuel discussions, they also highlight the fine line between scientific exploration and speculative musings. Our ongoing quest for understanding pushes us to explore diverse ideas, even if they occasionally venture into realms of imagination rather than concrete evidence, reflecting our innate curiosity and thirst for knowledge. What are your thoughts on Max Laughlin's credibility and his contributions to scientific knowledge? Do you believe his theories push the boundaries of understanding or veer into speculative territory? Start a conversation in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more fascinating topics in science and technology, don't forget to leave a huge thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue creating content that sparks curiosity and learning. Thank you for watching.